Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 8th annual UAGC Early Childhood Conference. We are super excited that you are here with us today, and you are going to love this session. If you will move slides, please.
Yeah.
All right, we kindly request your attention for a brief moment in the spirit of transparency and utmost respect for our early childhood community. We have some information we'd like you to read on this disclaimer screen. By taking a few moments to read through this disclaimer, you empower yourself with important information regarding the boundaries of our knowledge sharing environment. All right, please take a moment to read through this slide also, and then together we will embark on some exciting topics in early childhood education. All right, I am super excited to introduce our speaker today. Dr. Kelley is an educational go-getter with a passion for learning that spans from preschool to adulthood. I have worked with her for years and she's amazing. You are going to love this session. She has over 2 decades of experience in the field of education. She's honed her craft as a teacher, mentor, and advocate for student success. She's an instructional coach for North Scott Community Schools in Iowa. She's dedicated to empowering educators with tools and strategies to inspire greatness in every classroom. Dr. Kelley explores the great outdoors, indulges her love for adventure, travel, and discovery, and every time she presents for us, I am inspired more and more. Dr. Kelley, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. It's very nice. Man, school just got over. June is here, and I am just enjoying my outdoor life too. I've been hiking, and it was cool enough that we got to have a fire this weekend in the timber. But let's get back to the session. Today's session, we're going to talk about the importance of activating learners' mind, learners' activity, and that's going to help create an environment of active learning within your classroom. You're going to have the ability to plan and implement engaging learning opportunities. We're going to increase that for you with some strategies at the end. And hopefully with those walkaway strategies, you can do something with this material tomorrow. So why examine student learning? Don't assume that engagement will happen automatically. We have to bait the hook to suit the fish. Successful learning is more than just passive receipt of information. All learning requires active involvement for each learner. To get there, we need to make sure we meet the needs of the learner. The end result will be increased overall retention. There's this famous quote with the nice little picture over on the side with the boy who just caught the fish. Tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn. Teacher instructional practices are one of the most important factors in boosting how much students value a subject, engage in class, achieve, and are interested in learning. In this presentation, we're going to dive into the art and science of activating that engagement for young learners in early childhood education. By exploring innovative strategies, practical techniques, and evidence-based approaches, you will leave with some insights transforming your classroom into vibrant hubs of active learning. Through real-world examples, participants will leave with actionable strategies and hopefully a renewed enthusiasm that can spark your curiosity and engagement, as well as the learners that you teach. Okay. You know, we have to really think about our learners when we're coming to our student engagement, and what actions we do in the classroom is really going to strengthen the learning that they have and the retention going forward. So throughout this presentation, I hope that I can give you some sparks of interest for yourself, but also for your learners. So understanding the importance of activation is key. I'm going to explain this picture on the side first before going forward. So we really want to talk to the whole child, and that's a personalized instruction that actually helps them lead to mastery of their content. So it's targeted and relevant, it's engaging, it doesn't actually have to always be doing, but actually engaging the brain, socially connected with others, and it's growth oriented. It's moving them along the spectrum of learning. Activating prior knowledge in learning design is the single most important factor influencing learning. You have to activate learners' prior knowledge, their curiosity, and intrinsic motivation to lay a strong foundation for engaged learning experiences. By activating these elements, educators lay a solid foundation for engaging learning experiences. This involves leveraging what children already know and are interested in to spark their engagement and enthusiasm for learning. Activation really makes me feel like a Power Ranger or like a Care Bear. It's that power to ignite the imagination. It's where all learning is built, and it's connected to some acquired learning. Research in neuroscience offers valuable insights into how young children's brains develop and learn. Understanding concepts such as brain plasticity, executive function development, and the impact of early experiences on neural pathways can inform teaching practices and curriculum design in the ECE setting. In addition, play is central to young children's learning and development, and current research continues to explore the benefits of play-based approaches in ECE settings. Studies examine different types of play, like pretend play or constructive play, and their role in fostering cognitive, social, and emotional development. The synapses in our brain are continually firing for our early learners. So 4 ways that we can, as teachers, activate learning is answer that first question, why? Connect to the learner. 3, connect to the interests, and that course will bring joy. And 4, the opportunity for choice. This could be time, pathway of learning, and of course, their learning style. This should also include a reflection of what they know, how it connects, and what they have learned. An example of this in my classroom is I like to do a circle time, and I do this with all ages. So it's not just for our EC learners. I do this with my adult learners too. I get some hems and haws, but when we get into circle time, we make those connections with what we just learned, the connection to ourselves, to what we learned, and then the shared connection of the reflection itself with others. And so that kind of openness really invites that learning environment to become one of a collective. I also just heard something in and I'm relating this to sports, so bear with me. I was just in a bike session this morning, a cycling session, and she said something about action, momentum, and motivation. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this session about activating learning. So if you can get them active and learning what they're doing, that's going to build momentum and increase the motivation. Those are 2 things that we talk about in education a lot with our learners is how do we engage them, the action, and how do we keep them motivated, the learning. So that momentum with the action and keep doing, keep showing up, keep having those routines, keep having those procedures, you have to sustain it and you have to feed it. And when I say that, I also think of my sourdough starter that I just been making. But yes, with everything in life, there is connection to what we do and what we love to do. And I always bring it back to how can I include the learner? How can I keep this momentum going? And how can I keep them staying motivated to be in my classroom? And it's down to the learning environment, and how you set the stage is so important. What you can do to help increase engagement in your classroom are 4 simple things. First, design interactive learning environments. The second, incorporate multisensory learning activities and/or stations. 3, build meaningful connections. And 4, it's okay to play. So let's talk about all 4 of those. First, when designing interactive learning environments, you need to create classrooms that set up and promote exploration, collaboration, and hands-on discovery. These environments are designed to encourage active participation among young children, fostering a culture where learning is both enjoyable and meaningful. 2, incorporating multisensory learning activities explores the power of engaging multiple senses in the learning process. Activities such as sensory play, music, movement, and interactive games are discussed as tools to captivate young minds and enhance their retention of information. Sometimes the memory is so strong because of those multisensory activities that the learning cannot be hidden. You cannot run from it. 3, building meaningful connections. The importance, I'm going to pause. Build meaningful connections is our third important task to do to build that learning environment. And the importance of fostering positive relationships and a sense of belonging within the classroom community is emphasized when you build those connections. Creating an environment where learners feel empowered to take risks, express themselves, and actively participate in their learning journey is key to promoting engagement and motivation. And finally, it's okay to play. What the current argument for play is, sorry, I'm off. I don't want to be off topic, but the argument for play is very strong. The American Academy of Pediatrics in 2018 stated that play is fundamentally important for learning 21st century skills such as problem solving, collaboration, and creativity, which require the executive functioning skills that are critical for adult success. Play allows children to develop cognitively, socially, emotionally, and it really impacts their language and literacy skills development. By setting the stage in the learning environment, you are actively planning engagement. An example that young teachers try out for their learners is choice. Yes, have routines, have your procedures, and provide the structure of the day that is immensely valuable to our learners. But are there times to provide choice? Maybe some control you give to the students? Do we do activity A or activity B? That alone can be empowering. And if we go back to the beginning, hook your fish. Lesson design, it does start with us. So if we go to the side, engage them from day one. Pique their curiosity. Begin with their interests and then connect it to the learning. Provide diverse learning opportunities and provide low-risk activities that they can start building their confidence in and make it impossible to hide from learning. When kids are engaged at appropriate levels of challenge, the habits of persistence and curiosity are developed. By Carol Ann Tomlinson. So let's talk about 3 ways we can design our lesson to really activate our learners. We can leverage our technology and digital tools, cultivate critical thinking and problem-solving skills, and assess engagement and adjust instruction. We are dealing with digital natives. When we leverage technology and digital tools, we provide innovative ways to integrate age-appropriate technology into the curriculum. These tools amplify engagement and facilitate personalized learning experiences, catering to the diverse needs and preferences of our young learners in the digital age. When we cultivate critical thinking and problem-solving skills, this employs practical strategies for promoting higher order thinking, creativity, and problem-solving. This involves implementing inquiry-based learning activities and open-ended question techniques to encourage children to think critically and solve problems independently. And finally, assess engagement and adjust instruction. Be ready to pivot. Assess the learner's engagement by using various formative assessment methods. You can also adapt your instruction based on that student feedback and learning preferences, and ensure that teaching approaches are responsive to the needs of each child. We do this all the time as teachers and in our teams. It's goal setting. Where do we want to go? What does success look like? And then after we got there, did we make it? Or do we need to make a new goal? Did we need to make some changes? These practices will only strengthen your teaching, as well they are great opportunities to involve our learners and be transparent about where we're going. What are some teacher moves that you can use today? Start to plan differentiation for the learner. You can tier the process or tier the outcome. So the process is the same end product, but different materials are used. This could take into account students' readiness as well as use of tiered resources. Or tier the outcome. The same materials, but a different end product. This could take into account the varied learning styles of our students. An example that I always like to share is a menu or a choice board. It gives students the opportunity to participate in multiple tasks that allow them to practice skills they've learned in class or to demonstrate and extend the understanding of concepts. Remember, it's the power of different, and each learner is different. You need to reach the learners where they are and also take some risks as yourself as the teachers to learn about how to differentiate your lesson for your learners today. I remember just even last week before school ended, I had a student who was just struggling, and the Wiggles were all about May. And I gave her an oral assessment versus a paper assessment, which is a writing assessment that they had to do at the end. And the reason is I could just tell she could not get what she was actually thinking out in a format that I was giving her. So I gave her a different format. And guess what? She showed through what she said that she had attained the knowledge. So be flexible. In the end, as educators, we are always adapting to our learners and reaching them where they are. Some strategies you can use to activate and engage your young learners. And here's the challenge. Try one of these strategies in your class. You can incorporate hands-on learning, follow children's interests or lead, encourage active exploration, promote social interaction, use storytelling and dramatic play, integrate technology thoughtfully, and provide open-ended materials. These strategies will increase engagement that activates recall in your students. When you incorporate hands-on learning activities, you're providing ample opportunities for children to engage in exploratory play. This could include sensory bends, building blocks, art projects, and science experiments. Hands-on experiences allow children to actively manipulate materials and engage their senses, leading to deeper understanding and retention of concepts. When you follow children's interests and lead, you need to pay attention to where they're going and how you can incorporate the curriculum to follow that. When learning activities align with children's interests, that makes it easy. They're more likely to be engaged and motivate and participate. Take time to observe and listen to what children are curious about and use that information to plan the activities to capture their attention. It's always changing. Be responsive to children's cues and interests during teaching and learning activities. If a child shows particular enthusiasm for a topic or activity, follow their lead and build on their interests. This personalized approach to learning ensures that children feel valued and engaged in their educational experiences. Encourage active exploration and create a classroom environment that encourages just that. Set up learning centers with a variety of materials and activities that children can explore independently or with peers. Allow children to make choices about what they want to explore and encourage them to ask questions and seek answers through hands-on exploration. Don't be afraid to promote that social interaction. It fosters opportunities for children to collaborate with their peers and engage in different interactions. Group activities, partner work, and cooperative games can promote communication, cooperation, and teamwork skills. Encourage children to share ideas, take turns, and work together to solve problems. Use storytelling and dramatic play. Take advantage of it. That can spark children's imagination and creativity while promoting language development and social emotional skills. Incorporate storybooks, puppets, and props into storytelling sessions and provide dress-up clothes and props for dramatic play activities. Encourage children to act out stories, retell familiar tales, and create their own narratives. Here are some comments I hear and observe as children learn through play. They can make a plan through play as, I want to draw my family, and who will I put in my picture? They can learn from trial and error through play. They can use imagination and problem-solving skills. My tower fell. Maybe my friend can help me build it up again. They can apply concepts of quantity, science, and movement to real life through play. I like these big seeds. How many will I need to cover this part of my picture? They can reason in a logical and analytical manner by acting on objects. There are still some pieces missing in this puzzle, but which one might fit? They can communicate with classmates and negotiate differences in points of view. I want to be the mother. Could you be the baby? or maybe the grandmother. They can derive satisfaction from their own accomplishments. We did it together. All we do is win. They can develop creativity and explore aesthetics and artistry. I wonder what would happen if I mix these two colors together. Talking, singing, playing, sound, and word games, reading, writing, and drawing with your student are great ways to lay a good literacy foundation. The great news is that everyday activities are all fun opportunities for literacy development. Integrate technology thoughtfully, and it can be a very valuable tool because our students are digital natives. It's essential to use it thoughtfully and purposely, though, in the ECE classroom. Choose age-appropriate educational apps, interactive games, and digital tools that support learning objectives and engage children in meaningful ways. Balance screen time with hands-on activities and outdoor play to ensure a well-rounded learning experience. And finally, provide open-ended materials. Offer open-ended materials and loose parts that encourage creativity, problem-solving, and imaginative play. Items such as blocks, Play-Doh, loose parts, and art supplies allow children to manipulate and explore in a variety of ways, fostering divergent thinking and innovation. By incorporating these strategies into their teaching practices, ECE teachers can create dynamic, engaging learning environments that support holistic development of young children and lay the foundation of lifelong learning success. Let's end with some quick takeaways. 1, activate your learner. 2, offer choice as an easy way to increase engagement. And 3, create connections. When engagement goes up, learning goes up. Maximize learning by minimizing the polish, which means it doesn't have to be perfect. Just get it out there, try new things. You're just as much taking risks in some aspects of this as the students. And meet your learners where they are. But finally, most importantly, make it relevant, make those connections to them. They're building, they're learning off their foundational knowledge, and you are providing some of that foundational pieces for their future learning. So make it relevant. How are they going to use this in the future? But most importantly, have fun. Remember, by being proactive in the planning of your classroom and lesson design, the odds are in your favor for increased engagement. Before I go, though, I wanted to give you some tools and some books that are some good suggestions for furthering this learning. So if you're looking for books on the subject to continue learning, here are my suggestions. The Power of Play, How Spontaneous Imaginative Activities Lead to Happier, Healthier Children by David Elkind. It explores the importance of play in children's development and provides insights into how educators can create playful learning environments that promote engagement and learning. The 100 Languages of Children, the Reggio Emilia Approach to Early Childhood Education by Carolyn Edwards, Leila Gadini, and George Foreman. The Creative Curriculum for Preschool by Diane Trister Dodge, Laura J. Kolker, and Kate Harrowman. And that book is a comprehensive framework for designing engaging learning experiences for preschool children. Teaching with the Brain in Mind by Eric Jensen. While not specifically focused on early childhood education, this book does offer valuable insights into how brain research can inform teaching practices. The book, Engaging Your Children in Mathematics Standards for Early Childhood Mathematics Education. I found that one to be really useful for me, just because math is not always my strong suit when I'm teaching ECE. So I thought that book, edited by Douglas Clements and Julia Sararama, is a very good book. And finally, The Book Whisperer, Awakening the Inner Reader in Every Child by Donna Lynn Miller. It is primarily focused on reading instruction, but it offers valuable insights into how to foster a love of reading and engagement in literacy activities among young children. And it also provides practical strategies for creating a reading-rich environment, nurturing a reading community, and connecting children with books they love. These books, they offer a range of strategies and approaches for increasing engagement in early childhood education settings, from promoting playful learning experiences to integrating literacy, math, and other content areas in meaningful ways in the ECE. Teachers can explore these resources to find inspirational and practical guidance for enhancing engagement and foster positive learning experiences for our students. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions or like to further your learning. I have more books, more strategies to do, and of course, more stories. Thank you so much.
Dr. Kelley, thank you so much, and we hope you will attend another great session.